guys, our first thing we're going to do today is you are going to decide what shape you want your landscape to be. So we're going to be doing a landscape drawing using a pencil. And if you have a pen, you can go back over it with pen. If you have a Sharpie, you can go back over it with Sharpie. I would suggest a fine tip Sharpie. Your choice. You can have it be a circle. You can have this be a rectangle. You can have it be a triangle. So I think I might do a triangle. And to make my triangle, I'm just going to fold my paper. And it's easy to do just getting it on my, getting it to the corner. All right, there's one of my lines. And then I'm going to take that and fold these guys over. So I'm starting in that corner right there. It may not be exactly perfect, but I now have a triangle right here. So this is going to be where I'm making my art today, guys. You can do it in a circle. You can do it in a rectangle. It is up to you. So the first thing I'm going to do after I have my triangle is I'm going to find the division between the land in the mountains. So my flat land goes, I'm going to have it go right about to here. Okay. I am then going to add just some diagonal leading lines. And as I go forward, I'm going to make them a little longer because things going towards the front are a little bit, things are bigger as they get to the front. We're going to create the illusion of space. So I'm going to make these a little longer. And I'm going to make this a little, there we go. All right. So draw lightly till you like your lines. I like that a lot. It kind of leads me through to the back of my picture. All right. So this is going to be the foreground. This is the front of my picture, the middle, and then back there is going to be the background. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a mountain range. So I'm going to make mine pretty jagged. Okay, that's my mountain range. After I have my beautiful mountain range, my next thing is to add a little bit of snow onto the sides of my mountains. There's a little bit over there. It can go right up to the peak if I wanted. Doesn't have to be the same on every mountain, but they should be on the same side. So I have some snow right here. I have a tiny little bit of snow on this one because there's not much space in that peak. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some over here as well. Okay, so those are the sides. That's where the snow is on all my mountains, okay? My next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to create the illusion of space by making my tiniest tree in the background. So it's going to be my tiny tree. And as they move forward, I'm going to get that line to be a little bit longer. See how that's getting bigger? Here's going to be a bigger tree. So now I have the illusion that everything's going back in there. Here's this kind of a smaller tree here. Okay, and I'm going to have one final really big tree right here. Okay, so everything's getting smaller as they go to the background. Now I'm going to use my pencil to add a little bit of shading. We're going to be doing hatching today. The closer your lines are together, the darker it's going to appear. We don't need it too dark. Go ahead and just add some lines right next to each other. Just create a different shade in that area that you have. So that's my snow. And I'm adding a light shade for my snow area. I'm not scribbling. I am drawing little lines right next to each other going all the way down. So I now have snow on the side. Now I'm going to make a darker value when I'm doing my trees, okay? So my branches, they're pretty dark. So I'm going to go ahead and add tiny little lines. This is a different value. This is a much darker value on my tree. Making little lines. Typically the tree gets a little bit wider at the bottom, but because these are trees that are out in nature, they're not going to be perfect. So this one might have longer branches. I'm going to go up, all the way up, and I'm going to continue adding that shading. Okay, for this next part, you can use markers, you can use water and markers, you can use watercolor paint. You're going to be creating your sky, and I unfolded my paper, so I have a bigger area to paint. If I go over that shape, it's totally fine. So if I get out of that line. So on my sky, I'm going to just do a couple different colors mixing together. I'm going to get a lot of water so I can make sure it mixes. You gotta be careful not to get your paper too wet. So I'm gonna start with some purple up here. And then below it, I'm gonna go ahead and add some blues in. That blue with some purple with some blue mixing together. So it's like a little bit darker. I'm gonna get a darker blue going below that, kind of fading into each other. It's a little bit trickier to do when you have the paper that we are working with. So if you want to try and mix another color, I want to get this a little bit yellow. Make it more of like a greeny blue. Mix it right in. Sometimes it doesn't work the first time. You gotta mix it a little bit more as you go. So my blue is getting a little bit like a lighter yellowish greenish blue. And I'm going to go ahead and continue working down. Maybe add a little bit more blue to that. Get it slightly back to blue as I get to that edge. I'm going to try really hard not to get it on my mountains. But if you get it on your mountains, guys, it is going to be okay. We are just learning. And so everybody makes mistakes. So try your best to stay off that area. If you want to go back in and get some darker areas, you're welcome to do that. Get some darker blues, kind of dab at it, going through the sky. If you have salt at home, you might want to shake some salt on top of it because you can get some really fun star looking things. So I'm just going to add a little on top. So what I did is I went ahead and I shook some salt right on top, and the salt makes it so that the paint disperses or goes away. It sucks up that, okay? Sucks up the water or spreads it out and keeps it so that there are some little funny little white spots when you're done, okay? If there's any last bits that you want to do, go ahead and finish it up. And I think I am done for now. I'm going to also add in, I'm going to cut this out when I'm done and I can put it on another piece of paper. I could just leave it as it is. I hope you enjoy this week.